ahead and call the meeting to order, please. Martha, will call roll.
Browning. Here. Campbell.
Here.
Guerrero.
Here.
Hilbert. Leeper. Here. Stahl.
Here.
Wood.
Mr. Meadows, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Recognition of visitors.
We have Keith Hildebrandt here. I don't know, he didn't contact me to speak, but, I think we probably, if you need to say something or,
If you have the letter, I think that speaks enough. If you have questions, I can answer questions. Otherwise, no.
okay. We do have a portion of the superintendent's report that will, address that part of it and kind of go from there.
Okay.
Mark?
So then at this point, I need a motion to enter closed session for the reasons stated on the agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second? Jeff Stahl, call roll please.
Campbell.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. Intermediate special education teacher, effective at the end of the 2021-2022 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second?
Second.
Lori Campbell, call roll please.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Candy Hadley as middle school library aide, effective at the end of the 2021-2022 school year. Motion made by Martha Leeper, is there a second?
Second.
Jessica Browning, call roll please.
Campbell.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Brown. Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Paxton Acree as high school assistant girls basketball coach, effective immediately. Motion made by Jeff Stahl, is there a second?
Second.
Martha Leeper, call roll please.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell.
Abstain.
We're still good. We have 4 votes, so that's
Yes.
okay.
Motion to accept the resignation of Amy Steiner as high school dance coach, effective immediately.
So moved.
Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second?
Second.
Martha Leeper, call roll please.
Stahl.
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes.
Motion to employ Molly Miller as intermediate special education teacher, effective at the beginning of the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Leeper. Lori Leeper?
I have a Lori Leeper.
You know you did, and that's
But I'll
exactly what I
second
looked
it,
at.
so you can keep Leeper in there.
Motion made by Lori Campbell and seconded by Martha Leeper.
Correct.
Call roll please.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Motion to employ Beth Stacy as summer office assistant at 12 hours per week.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper. Is there a second?
Second.
Jessica Browning, call roll please.
Campbell.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Brown.
Okay, everybody, received your consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions?
You missed that one.
We don't have
We don't
any.
have to approve it. No.
Okay, it's supposed to.
Yeah. We were given without. Okay, so motion, the consent agenda, any questions regarding what you received and the additional bills at your table? So motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Oh, wait.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl, is there a second?
Second.
Lori Campbell, call roll please.
Guerrero.
Yes?
Leeper. Yes. Stahl.
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Superintendent's report.
Okay, first up, the summer work items. I presented you with a list of items, that initially I wanted to consider, and then I've kind of highlighted the ones that I think that are realistic,
Bless you.
that we can complete this summer. The first one is at the primary building, a new concrete approach at the main entrance. It is starting to deteriorate pretty badly. Also, if you've been over there, right before you go into the building, there's a step up that probably a dozen people either fall up or fall down on their way out of that. What he will do is demo the pad that's there, and then that will come off at a gentle slope in 2 directions up to the main entrance. He has a bid here for $61.80, and I would recommend that we approve that. Every year we add mulch to the primary playground. Some of it gets carried away from water, it just gets back down. It's roughly $4,500 for a load, and then we have the equipment and our guys spread it at no additional cost other than just our time. So I would recommend that we do those 2 things as well.
On the one that's not highlighted there about the dishwasher, did you give us bids on those earlier?
I gave you a quote for what it would cost if we purchased them and installed them ourselves.
Okay,
I think that the one at the primary building, the way the setup is with the garbage disposal and everything, that there's going to need to be probably some fab work done on that whole setup over there, that we're not capable of doing.
got it.
I do not have any bids back from King Lar. They were waiting for a distributor to find out what they could get the actual dishwasher for, and then give me a quote for installation. A competitor had a unit for $14,000, and the installation was going to be roughly that and more. So we're looking at almost $30,000 per dishwasher. I think that we can maybe limp along and fix the ones that we have. One of the advantages of what we're going to put in though are high temp dishwashers, and they go through, and about the time they get out, they're dry and can be put back into circulation for use. Whereas we have that at the Iliopolis campus, we do not have that here or at the primary building. So when we're short-staffed, sometimes we end up using a lot of paper or styrofoam trays, which I can't stand. So that was the reasoning, other than the fact that the older units are kind of nickel and diming us for repair costs. So I may come to you at another time.
What is the oldest one? Iliopolis?
I think Iliopolis, by
You
looking
say it
at
has
them,
the high,
it has the high temp one, and I believe that it had to have been replaced. I think I was wrong on that. It looks like a newer unit than the other 2 buildings. But we can purchase high temp machines for about $8,000, and if I thought that we had the time or the guys could do it, I wouldn't mind trying that. I think the high school maybe would be the easiest job for them to do right away, and maybe try it there eventually, but I think that we can fix and kind of get by with what we have, at least for a while.
okay,
And
so I was looking back, we just had the same discussion last month. I couldn't remember, we didn't take any action then.
He was just gonna.
I was hoping to have
We can always
solid bids.
do 1 a year, 3 years.
We
We can
could.
do it in phases. We don't have to, I think it's unrealistic to think we're gonna replace all 3 at one time, but start with 1.
So if I had to pick, I'd probably do the primary and start there, and then just do the high school next year.
Yeah.
If I have something for the May board meeting,
Running up though.
I will,
On the mulch, we do that every year, now primary.
yeah.
What's the cost of what we have at the middle school, or the tires? I mean, comparatively.
Pretty darn high.
It's pretty high, and I think it's maybe not allowed anymore.
Oh, really? Okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, because it seems to stay better than the mulch.
It probably doesn't give
It
the
doesn't degrade. like-
cushion that when kids fall into the mulch does. And this is a high grade mulch that is specifically ground and designed for playground. We get it from a place over in McLean, Illinois. So. Next up, Brian Britton's old classroom at the intermediate, we had a tile pop up during summer maintenance last year. The room has been sitting empty. I think Miss Summer has plans for that room. We're going to gut the room, paint the suspended ceiling, the tracks or the, whatever you call them, and then put new ceiling tile in, and while we're doing that, do new lighting. And I have estimates for both of those. I've looked up costs for the lighting and the ceiling tile. That's roughly where they are. And then the Flooring America is to come in and remove the existing tile, prep the floor, and then lay new, no wax, laminate like we've done in our other classrooms that we remodeled. So trying to stay away from all of the waxing as it's labor intensive, and also when you get chairs scooting up and down and back and forth on it, it really doesn't look too good after about a month. So this stuff has held up pretty well so far. We have it in the science lab, art room here, two classrooms upstairs as well. So it's a good product and it will last, and it isn't as labor intensive. So I'm certain that we can get that project done. Mr. Grecky came to us this a little while ago and asked about the possibility of demoing the accordion room divider that is in between his band room and gym.
It's so pretty though. Sorry.
The ROE has been at us for years to get rid of it because it has no fire rating. My only concern was once it's closed off, and it can never be opened and used. So I talked to John a little bit about it, and he said it's open and there are people up there, and crowds on the gym floor very, very little.
Yeah.
I can't remember the 10 years that I was a teacher that anybody's ever up there performed. So.
Just congratulations.
I was gonna say, might you perform with her
Yeah,
graduation?
for promotion, but we could put the band on the floor for that. That's no problem.
It would provide him a lot nicer atmosphere during PE class stuff.
Yes, we'd be able to hear ourselves.
So I guess what I'm asking is probably your blessing on that.
So no more stage?
But
It's
Intermediate.
it's like a second floor stage.
It's a loft, yeah.
Loft is a
Like
good.
an intermediate.
Oh, I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so was I. I was thinking here, like, wait.
Yeah.
Go back to Kurt.
That one may need attention soon as well. It's kind of hit and miss on.
Jeff, you probably played it too.
In a band. Keep my head free.
Okay.
So that's no problem. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously under your threshold and it's something that you can throw in, so.
I think we get it done. I think it would benefit the band. So
Are you gonna take up is there a guardrail too?
yeah, we'll demo the guardrail and
Okay.
and then build a nice sturdy soundproof wall. They're not soundproof, but sound deadening for sure. We'll spend a little bit extra money on the insulation and do a 2x6 construction.
Get reinforcements, nobody can run through it or something.
Yeah, they will not run through this. Lastly, the new heating system in the bus barn, that's something we could probably do after the school year starts. But I wanna do some sort of radiant heat in there. I'm not gonna do that. I'm only touching on the highlighted stuff.
Okay, so I'm taking off,
Yes.
alright,
Art room's gonna have to wait.
got it.
New heating system in the bus garage, that's the biggest expense out there. The ceiling, we've bought white metal and lighting already for the bus garage. That will help, keep in the heat, brighten things up a little bit in the bus garage. Definitely wanna do that. I did not highlight the tree trimming or the painting of the MAPES panels, but I will, rent equipment for that, to do that job, which will be roughly $2,800 for the equipment rental, and we have the paint and the manpower to do that. project that I wanna do is demo this wall over in the computer lab. And eventually, Ms. Dent will move her ag class over next door here.
She has grant money.
She has grant money to buy the furniture and all that stuff. If we can get the wall demoed and get that kind of straightened up a little bit, we can get the equipment and that sort of thing in to satisfy the grant. But with her maternity leave, she thought that maybe it would not be the best to try to move into a new classroom this year anyway. So, and that's something that the guys can work on when the snow flies next winter.
We've talked about this before, but we have to commend her because every time she comes with a need, she comes with a plan to, you know, some type of grant money, something that, she's able to provide, to help the school out with doing it. So it's been quite impressive with everything she's come with.
Yeah, it's usually a very little cost, whatever we do to the district for that, so. And then the last thing is the tuck point and, sealing of the brick that you've already approved. The cost to the district will be roughly $50,020.
And you said they started already, right?
They have, equipment
Mobilized?
on site, porta potty on site, and they will do some light demo work, just some exploratory demo, as soon as they can, to try to get the steel beams and the lintels ordered. So yeah, they'll be working here pretty quick. But then after that, they will start on the gym, where it'll be a little bit less intrusive and work around the gym to the front of the building. I would say by the time they get to the front of the building, we'll be out of school. It shouldn't be too disruptive to the kids. But I had a total of 74, 714 for all of this, but I don't believe that I included the cost of the equipment rental for the MAPES panel painting and the tree trimming. So we might wanna add about $2,800 to that. But as I mentioned, the lion's share of that money will be going towards the tuck point. So when we get to that point in new business, I'll ask you that you approve the summer work items as presented. Next up is summer work, projections and pay. Ms. Wellbaum and Ms. Summer have sent out 65 invites for summer school. Our plan was to see how many parents were interested in summer school and then hire the appropriate number of teachers and aides. Currently, we have 13 at the primary building. Did we get any extra at the intermediate?
No, they'll go out, the second notice will go out tomorrow.
Okay. Right now, we have 8 confirmed.
I don't remember.
I thought that was the last number you gave me.
9.
9?
9.
It's very distressing to me because we have, you're providing transportation to and from, it's a 3-week thing, 4 days a week. Teachers are giving of their time,
About a third of
A third of them.
Yeah.
and providing wet breakfast, I think you guys said. It just, I don't know. That's why I kind of was hoping for that second reach out and maybe some follow-up so that people were aware and make sure they didn't disregard the first offer, so. It's a program we have to do because of, you have to use your ESSER funds, a certain percentage of them for summer. So, obviously, it was there for a reason, but a little disappointing in the,
Maybe we'll get more.
oh,
Any idea how that 65 breaks down between primary and unique?
I don't remember what, was it 30 and 35?
Yeah, we're pretty similar on our reach outs, yeah.
It seems to strike my memory.
Did you have teachers interested if we are ready to go with this?
Yes. I don't think you've given the job that you had how many interested? 4 or 5?
One in my building and 4, I think, in the primary building, and then I think 3 or 4 assistants. So there's plenty of interest in staffing,
That's good.
but,
maybe we'll get more, a little bit better turnout by the time it starts. But just as an FYI, the hourly rate for the teacher was $50 an hour, and the aides to come in the summer is gonna be $20 an hour. And they will all work 4 hours a day. The teachers will be there and have an hour plan time, and while they're planning, I think that the aides will be helping get the kids in the building and a little snack and then on to class, so. Again, this is money coming from the ESSER fund that is specifically earmarked for summer school. So it's not an additional cost to the district to use through the grant.
And it is raised, pay for teachers was raised this year in order to
Try to
entice
Track.
those, yes, and to be able to use those funds for their intended purpose, so.
Anything else on summer school? I gave you a handout on some, kind of a wish list from the football program, and really, to be honest with you, some of this is football, and some of it's ways would incorporate our fitness class and some of the other programs as well, which weightlifting is important. I would recommend at this time that we purchase a 5-man sled for the football team. I asked Michael to give me a quote on what the covers would cost, and upon further inspection of the sled itself, I think it's something that, for safety reasons, probably needs to be replaced. That is a large cost, as far as on their wish list, over a third of it, and I would like to do that for the district, from the district, and then allow football and gridiron and maybe some other fundraising to see what they can come with to help purchase some of this stuff, and then kind of go from there.
I was gonna say gridiron is usually a good source for them to be able to learn the rest of their needs, so. Okay,
What's next?
Wait a minute, I'm looking, are we going to approve, do we have to approve that purchase? That sled, or do you just, cause I don't see it.
If you want a formal motion on it, I can
I
put it
didn't
on
know if
and,
you needed one, I'm just looking at
I
that.
don't necessarily, we don't do formal bids for reconditioning of football equipment and that sort of thing. Or
Okay.
if we buy basketballs or stuff for various programs, all of that doesn't come to the board, so that's
Okay.
just approved by me, but I just kind of definitely
That's
bless
fine, oh yes,
on that.
fine. Just trying to follow these.
No, I understand. Perfect. Let's see. Next is the youth league and the diamond facility repair. I provided the handout that, or the email that Keith sent to us, and, I think this really needs to be looked at by the board and decide what we're willing to do and what we are not willing or maybe necessarily able to do. I would say that, I think the restrooms out there, the roof is in need of replacement. I would like to get a bid for that and bring to the next board meeting. I think that's something that's on the district, and it needs to be done because that's utilized during track, JFL, during the practices and that sort of thing, so, I think that's something that we need to take care of. As far as some of the other things on the list, they had, the Heliopolis concession stand, equipment room. I think that would probably be one of the largest expenses, and,
and that was built by all volunteers and through the athletic association and not through the school, so, I mean, I kind of go, we don't have ball teams there anymore, so my inclination is fundraised and, you know, repairs made through that way, as we've kind of always done in the past, I guess. Are they, I don't know, I know, you know, before we were separated and we had an athletic association in Heliopolis, and then there was other towns, and now they're all together. We used to get a donation, I know, from the village of Heliopolis, and we did a candy sales every year, and we used all of our concession money. So, to do upgrades and sometimes just donations for the people who were involved, which I know is getting harder and harder and harder to do. I understand that, cause it was getting sparse at the end, but, I know that, you know, your concessions can be a big thing. We used to do a candy sale. I don't remember the candy company out of Bloomington.
Bikes.
Is it?
Catherine Bike.
Catherine Bike, yeah. And the kids would sell candy bars, the 3 different types of bars, and we made a good chunk after that every, year at the beginning of the season. But, you know, some of that the school doesn't utilize, I think, being in the financial constraints that we're in, does have to fall back to those people who are utilizing it and the parents who are, you know, I heard, I don't know if you guys still do this, but I heard a couple of years ago they were paying people to work the concession stand, which boggles my mind because we, you know, if your child's playing, you signed up to work at least 1 game a year, and you know, that kind of concession stand was covered, and everything you made was money you made. So, again, I know times are changing, and I'm falling back to a lot of people aren't being very helpful anymore. But I think it's something that it would be hard for the school to turn around and do all the upkeep on it if we're not utilizing it in any way and use, you know, budgeted money for other things, so.
I understand, and if we don't use the Illiopolis concession stand either, I just hate to see it
Yeah.
gone away.
We can take a look at it and maybe come up with at least a most cost-effective way to maybe get it closed out, and if it's going to be too expensive and nobody uses it, maybe that's the point that we decide to take
That's
it
why
down.
I'm sitting here, I mean, are you storing
It's
things
not-
in it, or?
So you guys aren't using it, we don't use it.
There is some storage on one portion of it. It could be replaced with a shed, to be honest. And that beats probably the same cost as siding and a roof and a door.
The roof was done not that long ago, like within the last 10 years. Is it bad again?
I honestly don't know about the roof. I just know that the siding and the windows has some pictures.
Okay.
I don't know.
They deteriorated badly.
And I have not, to be honest, I've not gone over and looked at it since that email. I did look at the restrooms, and I can't see a time that we will have middle school softball and baseball back. I would like to think maybe we could someday, but the numbers just aren't there to support that. And I know some years we have 10 or 11 kids that say they're gonna come out and play either baseball or softball or both, and then you're scrambling to get enough kids to actually field a team and play a game. I think the co-op, at least for those 2 sports, suits our needs.
So the current youth league doesn't utilize the Illiopolis fields at all?
We
for
use the
games?
fields for practice, and any
Practice.
rain out reschedules we can do in Illiopolis, but almost everything is done in Harrison.
Yeah, cause the concession was set up much better at the time. We had the restrooms there, we had the running water, which at one time, do they have water now? Did they go through
We
with that
had to.
program?
We had to, do some work out there. I don't remember what we shut off and what we kept going. There was a water fountain right out there by the bigger diamond that we had that.
So, anyway, I mean, it was a good facility at one time, but yes, it's seen its better days. But again, if it's not getting used, I don't wanna throw money at it, I guess.
As far as the fences and that sort of thing, I will try to take, our maintenance crew around and try to fix or repair anything that we can do on our end. I did notice on the small diamond at Harristown, there was one upper bar, I don't know if that's called on a fence, but it looked like somebody just climbed the fence, jumped up on it, hung on it till it went down. Which, that's another issue of people tearing stuff out.
Yeah,
It's frustrating to fix all the time, and they just tear it up.
yeah.
And I noticed you said something about 4-wheelers. Have we caught that on any of our cameras, or?
I didn't know about any 4-wheelers until just here recently.
Cause that's something obviously they should be on school property regardless, and if they're tearing.
We
up the road-
asked, and nothing was shown on video.
cameras out and see what she does.
What are you gonna do? They run across the fields all the time, you
Yeah.
can't do anything about it.
Hard to identify as well.
Yeah. Oh, I was just looking at Hairstown dugouts. I know that over the past, and maybe it's been longer than I think, but we've had Eagle Scouts or Scouts go in and do projects on the dugouts, and those have just outlived whatever they did at the time.
They're getting shaky, and that's how we're kind of looking at rebuilding some of this too, is with scout projects and other service projects to help collect funds, and you know, it's good for them to build that skill as well. So that's how we're looking at dugouts now. We don't have a solid plan, but we're planning on taking that one ourselves.
Well, I would definitely, I think Zilliopoulos Scouting too, I mean, I know Troop 91 and Cub Scout Pack 91 are kind of based out of the Hairstown area. They meet at Sharon United Methodist Church now, and you've always got somebody looking for a Life Scout project or Star Scout project or something, and they're always looking for something, so.
We're tied into them pretty
Good.
closely.
Good.
And then there's a Cub Scout troop in Buffalo, but they don't,
Okay.
they spend all the time over there.
Yeah.
And if we have any, well, I'll just contact you later. If there's something that's like a need, fence-wise, that it's a danger, let me know and we can do a, you know, straighten some stuff up and that kind of thing as a donation. I don't mind doing that.
Thank you.
What about the junior high track? Will not get used, or is there junior high track?
Junior high track,
Yes.
practice,
Straight grass.
straight grass right now. The bad thing is you can't find cinders anymore to put down.
We host anything, or is it just like high school? We don't have any over there.
I don't know if we host anything or not. I think we've tried to in the
I
past,
asked,
just,
just because recently I looked at the track and was like, wow. We do use that track for PE, a lot, but my understanding is that when there are meets there at the high school, that's the word I got.
We've not had a meet here at the high school since I've been here. The 1 year that we were maybe gonna have one was 2020. It was a beautiful day, the day that track meet was gonna happen. But they rolled the sidewalks up and nobody was around, so.
Can we just spray the existing track and kill it off?
I don't think so.
we can
So,
spray, I know they're
for
spraying
PE and stuff,
disc.
that would be,
Grab that fast spray with some cigarette, we'll kill all that stuff for a year.
Little kill kids.
no, it has to be done when the school is not accepted.
Do it summer, that way it won't be a problem for a year.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't trust some of those kids, I'm sorry.
No.
We do have a couple home meets this year. I thought they were here, to be honest, the 9A.
I'll have to check with Dave.
They may have changed something about it. I know they used to do it when I was at the middle school. I know we always did them over there. But if that track's in pretty bad shape, then we may try it over here, but it depends on how much water, because I know our north side of the track is underwater when it rains. It doesn't even have to be a hard rain.
If anybody out in YouTube land knows where we can get cinders or some sort of material to put on our track, that'd be
Do
nice.
they still let you, like, have you, at any of the other track meets that you've been at, do they have cinders with the hurdles and such stuff? Like, I
No, we haven't been on a center track all year.
I wonder, like,
It's
even
all
if that's,
about-
yeah,
Okay.
with hurdles, I don't know, that's.
$800,000, we can have a all-weather track.
800, bet you can't. I bet it's more than that now.
We don't want to.
6 lane.
For that one?
Cheaper than that, we're still $250,000.
I would love to have a nice track behind that building, like, I think we'd use it a lot, at one of the old elementary schools that I worked at, we did, it's called Mileage Club, and it was part of our recess, and the kids used the track and they gained, charms, and, you know, they counted up how many miles they walked every year, and that was part of their recesses, they'd start with a lap. The kids that wanted to do more did more, and we raised money to, we blacktopped the track. It was originally just a grass, you know, they had it marked off with markers, but we raised money to get it in asphalt, which wouldn't be much better than the cinders, but I think it would get a lot of use if we added something, but not $800,000 something.
Maybe you can. That's the last figure I heard.
I think if we invested that kind of money in a track, we'd want the fencing and the security to go with it though.
would
this right now.
probably unfortunately have to put it in one location and everybody have to use it. Which, I mean, large districts, that's what they do, you know, so. Again, we have a lot of space and a lot of buildings and a lot of upkeep that's very difficult.
Sure.
I don't know, I know that they disc and spray the trap, I don't know what specific thing they've done in the past, so.
We definitely need to do that so that you guys can at least utilize it for PE and such in the fall and
Maybe if spring ever comes, we can.
You won't wash it away. Don't give me some of that.
So we got some ideas, ways to.
Yes. All right.
The last thing I wanted to give you a quick update on the, stop arms cameras that we purchased. We have, I believe it was on 4 buses, maybe it was 3. Ryan has been out and I didn't get a chance to ask anybody what we actually bought. I went and looked back in minutes, I couldn't find it, of what we decided upon. You may remember what we ended up getting. Was it
I
3
thought
or
it was
4?
4.
They're on, obviously, 4 different buses that they shuffle throughout the district, to try to see if, I never heard back from our attorneys as far as the legality of doing that, but anytime that we've had a violation in the past, the bus drivers, if they can get the license plate number, we call and file a report, we give them the license plate number, and no questions asked, and typically a ticket. Well, I think the cameras are more for our use. I guess they could be turned over to subpoenaed. I don't see where that would be any violation of any, it's not like a speed trap or anything, we're just trying to
Keep
do our
everyone
best
safe.
to protect our kids.
Have you tried, like, just driving around and see how clear it read?
I have not, they have been on now for maybe 3-4 weeks. So I have not tried to go out and see what it looks
I've
like.
heard you can actually see the plate or what?
I think you can get a
Probably
really nice
automatically feeds it in for a
shot.
ticket, so Bob drives by it. I'll look at it too.
Yeah.
A vendor.
That's all I have for superintendent report. Jack, that's not.
That's not.
So we move into new business.
The first item is the fiscal year 23 consolidated district plan. I hate the term consolidated district when people panic about, oh, Sangamon Valley's wanting to consolidate. Well, it has nothing to do with that. It pertains specifically to federal grant funding, and it is, it's kind of like the gatekeeper of all of our grants. We fill out this consolidated report that addresses all of our grants that we apply for. It's something that we have to do every year. I don't like it. It's just another hoop and layer of red tape that you have to get through to get money that, quite honestly, belongs to the district. So it's a little bit frustrating, and I don't care for it, but it's something that we have to do, and I would ask that you approve it.
Okay, so motion to approve the FY 23 consolidated district unit plan as it pertains to the federal grant funding is presented. So moved. Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second?
Second.
Martha Luker, call roll please.
Stahl?
Yes.
Browning?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Leeper? Yes.
And that plan is available in the superintendent's office if anybody would like to stop by and take a look. Next up, Evergreen FS won all of the bids for fuel, diesel, unleaded, and propane for the 22-23 school year, so I would recommend that you accept the bid.
I was shocked that it was not higher than it was.
Figures.
Yeah.
You bid gallons or how do you do it?
We do not bid an amount, we bid a price, and if we use a bunch, it's the same price as if we. It's kind of nice that they do that for us, because I know some districts went over their allotment that they had purchased and really got hit with some poor, almost $5 diesels, so. we're locking it in and
So motion to award the diesel fuel, unleaded fuel, and propane bids to Evergreen FS for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
I'll start.
Jeff Stahl, call roll please.
Browning,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leeper, yes, Stahl.
Yes.
next up is the IHSA membership. I think for the last 2 years, IHSA asked for money to help offset the cost because people could not attend the state series. Now that that has returned, they have taken that fee away. So I'm recommending that we renew our membership at no cost to the district.
So motion to approve the renewal of the IHSA membership for the 2022-2023 school year at no cost.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, is there a second?
Second.
Lori Campbell, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Next up is our IESA membership. They do not bring in as much money with their state series and regional and sectional and super sectional tournaments. So they do require a membership cost. It did go up again this year, and that total amount is $1,165.
Do we have a motion to approve the renewal of the IESA membership for the cost of $1,165?
So moved.
Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second?
Second.
Martha Leeper, call roll please.
Campbell,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leeper, yes, Stahl.
Yes.
Browning.
Next up, I'm asking the board for approval to apply for the EFC federal grant for technology purchases. We have to apply for the grant this spring, and those will be awarded at some point, probably over the summer or early fall. And that grant money will be awarded next school year, or going next fiscal year, and then that will go to continue to upgrade our technology.
So motion to allow the superintendent to apply for the EFC federal grant for technology purchase during the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Martha Leeper, is there a second?
Second.
Lori Campbell, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
We discussed summer work items during the superintendent's report. I will ask you to approve those work items as presented.
Is there a motion to approve summer work?
So moved.
Motion made by Jessica Browning. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jeff Stahl. Call roll please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Leeper, yes, Stahl.
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
And the last thing, the village of Harristown would like to use the primary school grounds on Saturday, June 25th, for their annual 4th of July celebration. I recommend you do that.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl, and is there a second?
Second.
Jessica Browning, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. And they're not using the building, just the grounds, correct?
I will have to check on that, because I'm not sure. I don't remember what they did last year.
I can't remember.
I think we stopped the bathroom thing because of the incident there. I thought they got toilets, but
I will
I won't.
double check on that. I'll let you know what I find out. One of the positive things, I guess, is that our summer work will start on the west side of the campus and come this direction, so, Harristown will be the last campus that the custodians are in to clean and grab and all that, so. If someone does go in there and use the restrooms, it won't be a complete loss because we still have to get in there and do our summer maintenance, so.
So if they do want the use of it, then we have a janitor that they have to pay for that day, correct? Okay. All right. So if no one has anything else, the next regular meeting is scheduled for May 11th at 6 p.m. Early one. Date, that is, not time.
Yes.
And I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second? Jeff Stahl.
Sorry.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes by 0.